Hi guys, I'm going to be making an audio talking about my prolactinoma medical condition since some people ask me about it, like what is it and stuff. So I don't have a lot of time to prepare to film myself talking about it, so I'm just like making an audio instead. I hope you have the time to actually listen to this because I think it's going to be a very long story. So yeah, let's begin. Like when I was, the first symptom of prolactinoma is missing periods in women, and I think that's how I was like feeling that something was wrong with me. Um, so when I was 16, I first started to skip periods, and I thought that it wasn't normal. I went to my doctor, and they just laughed it off. They just said, "Are you pregnant?" I'm just like, "No, I haven't had sex yet." And then she referred me to a gynecologist, and my gynecologist said, maybe it's due to a hormonal disorder, like hormonal imbalance, or due to stress. She made an ultrasound on my uterus. She checked my breasts. She checked like she was going to check my hormones as well, but since I was based in Bulgaria, my mother couldn't afford it was like 80 leva per hormone, and she didn't want to pay for that, so we left that unexamined. Um, so my gynecologist said you should be on birth control to help you bring back your periods, and I was put on Marvalone, the pill. And so I was drinking birth control pills, and it did help me bring back my periods artificially, like the most fakest artificial way. But then my periods stopped again around the time I was 18, 19. Like I was skipping periods again, so it was kind of like a temporary solution to the problem. So yeah, I was just, there's sometimes I keep a menstrual calendar to just like count the days, or just like check the days where I was on my period. And it was just like, it should be a 28-day a cycle, but it was actually 47 days a cycle or something when I was like 19 and the first year student and stuff. And I thought that was insane. Like, how am I gonna have sex? Everyone around me from my peers was already having sex, and they had a partner and stuff. And I just didn't have any sex drive, and I didn't have any desire for sex. I didn't have any attraction towards anyone. Like, I wasn't attracted to boys or girls, so I thought I was asexual since I was 17 and stuff. I thought that my sexuality was asexual. Literally no desire for sex, no attraction, nothing. Yeah, so I did delay having sex for a long time because I wasn't horny, and I wasn't I didn't really meet anyone in particular at that age, and also my periods were insane. Like, I wasn't really sure how I'm going to find out if I'm pregnant or not if I wasn't getting my period anyway, so that was really weird. And then I didn't have periods for like 2 years during my student years. I didn't have periods, and it was insane. I thought that nothing was wrong because my doctor in high school said nothing was wrong. I went to study abroad in Scotland, and I stayed there for like 6 years nearly. So, I did feel overworked and overstressed, and there was a lack of sympathy and compassion for me or care for me. Like, the people around me were just like thinking all about themselves and stuff. Like, obviously their problems were bigger than my problems, and whatever, so yeah. By the time I graduated university in summer 2015, I was starting to get severe symptoms to the point where it was starting to affect my mental health and my physical health. I wasn't eating a lot as a student. I actually didn't have a lot of money to eat at all. Like, I was just like dieting a lot and saving money from food because I couldn't afford a lot of foods like when I was a student. So I was starving, and there was a point in fourth year where I thought that I had gastric pains and stuff, like I had ulcers and something. I was just living really poorly. And then after I graduated, I remember I had some problems with my memory and concentration. I wasn't able to manage stress as much. I just stopped giving a fuck. I stopped caring about anything that I had to do. And I had problems with cognition and my memory and concentration, my stress management. I also started gaining weight all of a sudden, and it was a lot of weight. I had never been so fat in my whole life, guys. It was due to a medical condition, a serious medical condition, and not from overeating or from being lazy and not exercising. So that is pretty the weird thing about it. Like, you don't need to justify why you're fat, to be honest. Like, I feel like, weight gain is due to some kind of underlying health problem. And if you have a lot of weight problems, I think that you should get checked by a doctor, definitely, because it's not healthy. So, yeah. And yeah, so I gained a lot of weight. I was basically obese, and I wasn't feeling okay. I wasn't giving a fuck. I didn't have a sex drive. I didn't want to have sex. I felt like I was menopausal for some reason, since I didn't have periods, and I just wasn't feeling okay at all. I had depression, and I had some problems with my mental health and some problems with my physical health as well. My doctor was just like, you could lose your eyesight from this tumor, you could go blind, or it was because it's pressing on the optic nerves and stuff, and also on the brain. Like, there isn't like enough space in the skull for this tumor. And so my doctor in the medical practice I had in Scotland referred me to an endocrinologist in the Western General Hospital in Edinburgh. In the UK, it's free healthcare, but you wait for a few months until it gets your turn to an appointment. Whereas in Bulgaria, you pay a little bit for, the appointment, the medication, your medical exams, MRIs, whatever. You pay for it, but you get it instantly. Like, you can go to a doctor the same day instantly for it. You don't need to wait as much. And like, the costs here aren't really that big. To be honest, for an MRI it was a bit more pricey, but it was covered by the health funds and stuff, what I mean? So yeah, health fund, or like health insurance and stuff, like, what I mean? So yeah, I went to my endocrinologist in Scotland after like 2 months of waiting, or 3 months. I was just like barely keeping it together. It was really annoying to wait so much for this. Like, that's what it's like in the UK. And I went there, and my endo was like, they were checking my weight, they were checking my eyesight, they were asking me stuff about how I was feeling. Then they referred me to get the MRI scan for free in Scotland. And I had that done, and then it was proved via the MRI and my blood test that I have a pituitary tumor, and I was put on cabergoline, which is a medication that will help to shrink your tumor to a normal size. And it wasn't big enough for surgery, and they said that you don't need to get surgery for this to cut it off. So yeah. However, once I started drinking cabergoline, I had these insane side effects, very strong side effects. It was uncontrollable. I couldn't really work anymore. I was unable to go to work, and I had to stop working. I had to lose that job, and I had to take some time off for myself. Once I had all of my medical exams done in Scotland, I had to leave, especially after Brexit. It was getting really bad, so I had to leave. Because of my health, I just wasn't able to keep a job anymore, to be honest. So I had to come back here. And then I was put on another endocrinologist in my hometown in Varna. And she didn't even believe it. I had a tumor. I'm just like, I'm going to her. I'm just like, I have a brain tumor. She's just like, I don't believe it. You have a tumor. But then I did an MRI scan in 2018, and she was just like, oh my god, you have a tumor. It was shrinking by that time I did that MRI, but it was still there. She was shocked that I have it. Like, she didn't believe I have it, guys. And then she also found that I have high TSH levels as well as prolactin levels. So she put me on the medicine thyroxine, and she was checking my thyroid as well as my prolactin and my weight and everything. So yeah, I get blood tests done checking my prolactin and TSH levels every few months, like every 3 to 6 months I get it done. And an MRI once a year sometimes. And I didn't do an MRI in 2020 and 2019. 2020 because of COVID, obviously. I did an MRI in 2021. I actually changed my endo in Bulgaria because she was trying to experiment with me. Like, she wanted to lower the dose because my prolactin levels were in the right levels, but then my prolactin levels went up again. And that was bad. So my treatment was after that prolonged. We changed my endo to a male endo, and he was just like looking at my exams from Scotland, and he was just like, oh my god, that's very bad, like, I'm so sorry that you have this, like. And he told my mom, like, don't stress her out, like, try not to be stressed, don't put yourself in stressful situations, and don't be pressured and stuff, because the stress was very bad for me and my health. And yeah, I was just also battling infertility from prolactinoma, and I had a lot of problems with my mental health, and I thought that I couldn't have children, but after cabergoline, the side effects were severe. I couldn't control them for at least 3 years until my body just got adjusted to the side effects and to the medicine. I had this severe thirst for sex. I was just like, I had increased sexual urges, so I started dating at around 24, and I was just like looking for someone to get fucked with. I just didn't care who the fuck it was. I was just going to have sex. That was it. And I did have sex, and I was happy that it was over with. I wasn't wanting it as much after that, to be honest. And I do have the excuse that it was due to my medicine, which was increasing my sex drive and curing my fertility. So yeah. I lost a lot of weight significantly after cabergoline, and I started exercising a lot at the gym. I just became a gym maniac, and I became very fit. I lost a lot of weight, and I had a lot of these crazy changes in my body. And I was ashamed about it because in 2015 and 16, I was overweight because of prolactinoma. And then all of a sudden I lost a lot of weight because I was put on the medication, and I was exercising. In case you don't know, some bodybuilders use cabergoline to get them to exercise more, even though they don't have a tumor to cure. And also increases the male sex drive and stuff, and it's just the kind of medication that it is. And I was feeling very dizzy as well from cabergoline. I was feeling energetic, and I became aggressive and bipolar, and I had depression before that and anxiety, but after cabergoline it just became manic depression. It became bipolar. It is actually proved via research papers that cabergoline gives first episode mania to patients. And you're not really bipolar, it's just due to the medication, and on top of that, it is in my brain, so I do have some problems with my mental health, to be honest, because of this tumor that's fucking up my brain and my mental health, cognition, memory and concentration, dizziness, and stress management, or everything. I do have an excuse, that's what I mean. And yeah, so I was put on this male endo, and I thought that I was going to stop the treatment in 2021 because at first they said it was like a 5-year treatment plan, but then we did my blood test and it last year, and it was like, your TSH levels are still high and your prolactin levels are kind of like in the middle. So they decided to prolong my cabergoline intake. Then I had an MRI scan in summer 2021, and my mother decided to take me to Sofia because they had like a specialist, like qualified endo in Sofia, the capital of Bulgaria. Obviously, the capitals have more like developed stuff than like other parts of the country, So I went to Sofia. We went to the hospital in Sofia, and I met some other people who had prolactinoma there. One woman, older woman than me, in her 50s and stuff, she said it was due to work stress. So yeah, that is pretty sad, because she has to work. And yeah, so they told me I could start planning for a child thanks to cabergoline. If you want to get pregnant, you put on hormones and, you can get pregnant if you want. That's what they said. They give me hope that I can still get pregnant despite, being with, prolactinoma, which was making me infertile and killing my sex drive and stuff. I was just like, well, I'm not married yet, and I wasn't really thinking about having a kid while I'm sick with this. And my mother was just like, wait until you are cured from this fully, then get pregnant and give birth. I'm just like, okay, because it is kind of shit. Because first of all, and then I was dealing with the cabergoline side effects for 3 years, and it was driving me insane. It was giving me personality changes, anger problems. I was making me aggressive. I was getting into arguments with a lot of people after cabergoline, and I wasn't feeling okay at all. I was just not myself. I was just put on a lot of hormones, and against my will, it's kind of like my body's trying to get me pregnant, and that is pretty shit. And it's very pro-life and very so my body's telling me get pregnant now, but my mind's telling me no. That's what's happening basically after cabergoline. And I do feel disadvantaged because I'm a woman, and it's kind of there's sometimes I feel because I could get pregnant, and because obviously the weaker sex, and there's some things that you just can't do because you're a woman, and you should take it easy on yourself and on your body because you're a woman, so that's the first time I felt very disadvantaged for being a woman. For having this stupid body that gives birth, and it's not fair. It sucks. But in general, I've been trying to take it easy. I've been off work for some time now, and I will be back to work eventually. But right now, I do have security and money, and my parents are taking care of me, and I have where to live. I'm not paying rent. I'm back home. And with COVID now, there's not much I can do with my life anyway. I can't really live abroad anymore. I cannot keep a job as much anymore because of COVID, and I cannot have a relationship because of COVID. I can literally I can't do anything. It's just just rest and recharge. That's where I'm at right now. And yeah, that's about it. So my latest MRI in 2021 showed that my tumor had shrank, but my endo in Sofia said even though it shrank, it's still there. So I'm still on the medication, and I won't be stopping it until she tells me to. I'm getting a new MRI in 2022, in summer 2022, and new blood tests are coming next, I guess. Because of COVID, I wasn't able to exercise as much as before COVID, so I stopped at the gym for some time. I do come back again, but it's kind of I gained weight from not being able to do anything because of COVID, and that pretty much sucks. I do have some still problems with my weight, so it's not over yet. So I do have this yo-yo thing with my body, it's not the perfect weight. I need to work a lot for it. I'm on a Mediterranean diet right now, and I'm doing whatever I can for my body, but the thing is that we should be gentle with ourselves, not be too harsh on ourselves, and just accept that you can't be perfect at all ages and all your life. You can't be beautiful all the time. There is sometimes when you don't look great, and that's okay, that's human. And yeah. So this is where I'm at right now. Basically, I think that I'm near the end of this treatment after like 6 years or 7. Maybe it's going to be 7 this year, and I'm not sure what's coming next. I'm just waiting for the moment my doctor will tell me I can stop cabergoline, but I'm a bit afraid that after I stop it, my prolactin levels will go up again. My tumor will grow back. That's what I'm worried about. And also, even if I do decide to get pregnant and get married, I'm afraid that I have to stop the medication if I get pregnant, because it's bad for the fetus. And I can stop the medication again after I give birth. And my doctor said that if you do give birth, maybe it'll like melt away or something, but I thought that was too risky for me and my health. So technically I should be going out and getting pregnant. That's what my doctors are telling me, and everyone, even my managers at work, are telling me, you should go and get pregnant instead of working. That's what they were telling me basically. So yeah, I'm just like trying to change my life, and it's kind of like maybe I've been dating a lot in the past 5 years, but I don't think I found the one that's going to be my husband and someone that I'm going to marry, and I'm not quite sure that I want this at all. I wasn't very family oriented before. I was kind of like more focused on friendships than relationships, so this is kind of like a big change for me. Like maybe I'm going to get a partner in the future, but because of COVID, everything's just getting cancelled all the time. It's really hard to keep a relationship during this time. And also my parents are a bit like, they're not giving me to just anyone, so yeah. The other thing is that my doctors also told me that despite being on cabergoline, which is a medication that can get me pregnant, I can also combine it with birth control to help me not get pregnant if I don't wish to. But in the beginning I was just like, I don't want to be so overdrugged with hormones and shit. It's going to totally fuck me up. Like I wasn't okay with that. And also I don't really have a stable partner, so I'm not on birth control most of the time. And in the beginning, like back in 2016, I was also put on antidepressants like citalopram to help me manage the side effects of cabergoline, but I didn't like it as much, and I stopped taking it after a year or something. They also told me to do an echocardiogram of my heart in Scotland. I did that in Scotland and Bulgaria. In Bulgaria, they'll just like, take your top off, and I was laying there topless, and she was checking my heart, and then she was just like, there's something wrong with your heart, because apparently cabergoline increased my energy, and it was giving me fast heart rate, like a heartbeat. I could get a stroke and stuff. But my echocardiogram showed that there's something wrong with me. They also suggested to me to go to a neurologist or a neurosurgeon, but I don't think it's necessary. And we did go to a neurosurgeon in Sofia, but he said, like, it's not necessary to get surgery for this. It's not big enough. What else? Like, I've been just very drugged up with these hormones, and I feel a bit fucked up mentally and psychologically. I went to a counselor back in 2016, 15. They told me I should try cognitive behavioral therapy or talk therapy. And I am trying to talk more about my problems, but with trusted people who will not dismiss me and tell me that my problems aren't bad enough. Like, it's not as bad as theirs, or they won't be like, you're faking your illness. I'm not faking my illness. I have like all the medical records if you need to see them. Like, how can you tell me that I'm faking it? That is so horrible. Like, you're such a horrible person to tell that to me. Like, seriously. Grow the fuck up. Like, other people have problems too. Like, it's not all about you. Like, unfortunately, these are the kind of people that I've met in my life, so that's why I don't really talk much about my problems with other people. And they just assume that everything's okay with me. Everything's not okay with me. They know if you're not talking, then that can't be good, what I mean? I am quite introverted and I keep stuff to myself. I do keep, like, blogs, and I write a lot. I write down my problems to help me collect my thoughts about it and get the shit out of me. But in general, I don't really talk much with a lot of people because I'm afraid they'll use it against me, or they'll tell me that it's not that bad, or just how horrible and mean people are. Like, they don't really care about anyone else but themselves. So yeah, I did connect with, like, other people on social media who have prolactinoma, other women around the world, via YouTube and Instagram and Tumblr. They've given me a lot of support. They know what I'm going through because they're through it too. So I do have, like, this support group from social media, and I have people who have prolactinoma as well talking with me about it and what their experience is like. And that really helped a lot. Like, if people have been through it too, like, they can understand how bad it is for you and how horrible this is, like, how much it's affected your life, your work life, your career, your relationships with people, your friendships, your social life, your everything. Like, I technically, it does say it with prolactinoma you could be on social security benefits, but I've been just really not doing that. I don't want to be on benefits. And yeah, I just don't know why this happened to me, but the truth is that in my student years and in the past, I was overworked. I was doing some part-time jobs as a student. I was studying, and I wasn't able to drop out of that course, even though I felt like I didn't want to finish this at all. I couldn't, like, leave Scotland for a long time. I had to stay there and be with people that totally don't understand me, like, they don't know what I'm going through. So it was really hard. Like, my parents are just, like, they had, like, these sick ambitions for me to succeed somewhere else and stuff. So I was trying to please them, but it's just like, there's sometimes where you just want to please yourself instead. So yeah, I've just been through a lot. And I did start working early at, like, 21. I know that some people start working as teenagers, but my parents didn't allow me to work as a teenager. And yeah, so basically I'm near the end of this treatment. Hopefully this year or next year it could end. I'm not quite sure. I'm still dating. I have a newfound love life and sex life, which I didn't have before. Before that, during my school years and university years, I didn't have any love life at all. I didn't have a personal life at all. Like, I was too busy and too overstressed to, like, be interested in this at all. I just didn't have time for a personal life at all, seriously. But now it's better. Like, I'm taking more time off for this, and I'm meeting some guys and stuff, which I didn't have before. That's pretty fun. And I've been thinking about family stuff, like just starting a family someday if I wish to, after I'm cured from prolactinoma. But I'm not sure if I will go on this path as well, like being a family woman. So we'll see, because it's like I wasn't considering a family at all in my teens and early 20s. It wasn't really my priority, but maybe that will change in the future. I have no idea. Just as long as I meet the right guy, maybe it will change forever. My life will change forever. So yeah, that's about it for now. I just also wanted to say that I also had other illnesses apart from prolactinoma, and before prolactinoma I had childhood asthma. Between the ages of 2 and like 16, 17, my last asthma attack was in ninth grade. And obviously if you have asthma, you have breathing problems, you could suffocate to death. And obviously I have a weaker immune system than other people. I also had problems with my sinuses, and I had allergic sneezes, and I wasn't able to eat some certain foods in my childhood, I was on a diet, like some foods were giving me bad allergies and stuff. I wasn't able to do sports as a teenager and as a child because of asthma, even though I really wanted to, but I wasn't able to. That was really shitty. But now, because of cabergoline and because I outgrew asthma, I can go to the gym and I work out sometimes, but it's like a personal workout plan that works for me. If I was doing this at school, like they have like, it's kind of like they tell them that they should run the miles that the teacher wants them to, and they should do as many push-ups as the teacher says. So it's kind of like you need to like be able to fill in their requirements for a good grade. So if you're doing this outside of like school, you have like a personal plan that works for you instead. So that is pretty cool. I'm happy that I get to do more like exercises now, more sport and stuff, because it did really affect me badly. Like everyone else can run, they can, they have these fit bodies, and they have like, and I wasn't able to do sports at all as a, in school and when I was in school. So yeah. And also I had arthritis when I was 19, but since I changed the country, I think it was due to the climate, since it was quite wet here, and it was affecting my bones badly, and I was getting this pain in my bones and stuff. Like they told me I had arthritis. Possibly another side effect from the medication I was on for asthma, which is so weird. And I would change the country climate, and I didn't have arthritis anymore. That helped a lot. When I went to Scotland, like it wasn't this wet, it was kind of like not so, there's this evaporation from the sea here, this like the climate just gives you like certain illnesses, which is so weird. And yeah, so the latest illness I'm dealing with is prolactinoma. I've been dealing with this since summer 2015, and hopefully it'll be over soon, but you're done with one illness and then another starts, so it's kind of like I do get curable illnesses, like it's not that bad. After a few years I could be cured, but then you get sick from something else, which it's kind of like meh. Well, that's about it. I also got COVID last year, which is a bit random to say, since I do have a weaker immune system. I was vaccinated when I got it, Pfizer, and it was like getting the flu. It wasn't so bad with me. I didn't have like as bad symptoms as other people. I didn't have pneumonia, even though I had asthma as a child, and pneumonia and asthma is kind of like similar. After 3 weeks I got cured from it and everything's okay, like I didn't die. So yeah, it wasn't that bad, like I think maybe because I was vaccinated it wasn't so bad. So yeah, and that's where I'm at right now. So I'm waiting for my new blood tests in the spring or my new MRI in the summer. I could be back to the hospital in Sofia to see if I'm going to continue drinking the cabergoline pills or not. Like I'm not sure, like when I'm just waiting for the moment she'll tell me to stop the pills, but she also, I'm just like afraid that my prolactin levels will go up again if I stop the medication, so I'm a bit worried about that. But they will monitor me and stuff, so everything will be under control, I hope. Just like the whole thing about getting pregnant, like if I get pregnant while on cabergoline, I need to stop the medication because it's bad for the fetus, and then give birth, and after birth I could start again. But I'm afraid that in this time my tumor could grow back, so it's not really that great. And there is like birth control that goes with cabergoline, but I just didn't want to be so like just over drugged with hormones. Like I didn't want that, but I do have a newfound love life and sex life, which I didn't have before, which I'm thankful for. And I'm dating guys all the time, just like I don't think I found the one yet, but hopefully that will happen someday. Like just don't really know, you never know. So yeah, That's all, and thanks for listening to this audio, and I hope it was helpful for other women who have prolactinoma. For the record, men get prolactinoma as well, but since they don't have periods, it's harder for them to, see the symptoms, like, what I mean? I'm not sure what it would be like for a guy, but I think that women are more likely to get prolactinoma. I've seen, more women with it, to be honest, so, yeah, that's about it. Hope it was helpful for anyone who is interested in this topic of prolactinoma, and let's hope for the best in the future. Bye.